Know what I'm thinking? How do you get them, the masses, to understand? And then I answer myself, few will, Laura. Few will. Not that nobody will, of course, but few will. Few will understand. That's just the nature of the beast, the nature of reality. That's perhaps my number one reason for despising this existence. So, anyway, I thought I could handle this fucking on-the-fly shit. You know, that my mother so childishly offered to me. And it is a childish offer. I'll tell you why in a second. But I can't handle it. Every time I step outside that door, right outside my bedroom door, is that wall by the laundry room smeared with my mother's blood. And I didn't even remember that it was on the ceiling too, but it is. Every time I see that, I'm reminded that my Aunt Marion has told all our family and my mother's friends and her friends and everybody that I did it, and it fills me with rage. My mom doesn't remember it, so it doesn't trigger her. She doesn't care if it's like that. And I told her that, I said, that's like that. And, it reminds me. She was like, well, Marion should have painted. And I'm like, Marion should have done a lot of things she didn't do, Mom. If she's going to sit there. And my mom keeps changing her story. But I go by the very first thing that my mom said to me. When she was in the hospital, when she wasn't, totally out of it. Because remember, this is when she was in the first hospital and she was going to come home, I thought. This is when I first hung up on her. When I called her on Valentine's Day and she sits there and tells me that Marion says, you destroyed my house. It's not really just destroying anyway, it's just all messy, but it's not like it's paint on the rugs or something like that. It's messy, dirty, it's had to be cleaned up, filthy pig pen, just disaster area, but, Marion says it took her 6 hours to clean it, okay? Remember, this was in the beginning of my mother's 3.5-month hospital stay. Now, towards the end, she starts telling me, Marion says it took her 2 weeks to clean this house, okay? Then she changed her tune again and said, she says it took her 6 days. I'm like, Mom, when you first told me months ago what Marion had called you up and was screaming at you, it took Marion 6 hours. And that's more feasible, okay? That's more plausible. That's more plausible. It didn't take her 2 weeks. It didn't take her 6 days, okay? It took her, but whatever. I'm more depressed staying here, quote, on the fly, unquote, than I would be in the shelter. But I can't risk wrecking my back again. So what do? My friends might not think it's wise, but I don't know. I could tell you a story. I told you when I was living on the streets in Massachusetts for those 6 weeks in 2009, what I learned about these people who get Social Security disability. They go crazy when they get it. They get drugs and alcohol and stay in hotels and just use it all up in a few days, and then they go back to being homeless and begging on the street and eating in soup kitchens and at churches and whatnot, okay? And that's their life. And they go crazy because they can, they have to be homeless. They have that brief and then it's over with. But if they feel like at least they got to have that brief, enjoyment or whatnot. But it's only for a few days. But anyway, so they do that and they blow hundreds of dollars. I don't want to keep my stuff here. Don't want to keep my stuff here. Do you guys understand that when I left those... When I left those notes for Marion, and I knew I was going to my new home, that was it. I was never, ever, ever supposed to be back here unless just to visit my mom. And now, all my stuff's here, and I'm here on the sly and not supposed to be here. I can't take it. But I also can't take being in that shelter and having to carry, even if it's a small amount of stuff, carry my stuff around. The solution is to pay hundreds of dollars and move my stuff to a storage unit that's nearby to that shelter. And then, walk or take a bus every day to the shelter and drop off my stuff and then go and pick it up at night. I called my mother's offer a childish offer because I'm being upfront with her. Like, Mom, Marion could... Oh, Marion's not going to find out. Mom, what if she does? Oh, well, let her then. But no, it'd be another trauma for me, okay? Especially if Marion finds out about you, too. She'll come over here in a rage. She'll have my mom crying. She'll be screaming and yelling. Every day it's more likely that Marion's going to find out about you too. I do not want to be here like a sitting duck when she does. I understandably do not want to be here like a sitting duck with all my fucking stuff and whatnot when she inevitably finds out about you too. You say, well, why was she going to find out about you? Because my video views went up 4,000 in like 5 days. Okay? 4,000 in like 5 days is a lot. Okay, I know what they were a few days ago, and I just checked them today. Okay? That's a lot to go up in just a few days. I've taken all my videos off of private. Okay? Marion has friends, Marion has family, we have family in other states. One of these days it's bound to happen that somebody lets Marion in on it. I'm telling my mom this, and she's like, well, you don't use your names, right? I'm like, Mom, I'm in the video. I can't. My mom's like a child. She doesn't get it. I tell Mom I'm famous out on YouTube, but she doesn't get it. She's like a child. And it broke my heart earlier tonight. We were talking, I forget who brought it up. It doesn't really matter. It's not me bringing it up and yelling. It's just conversation or whatnot. Oh, I think she brought it up. I told Cheryl that Marion took $50,000 from me. I'm like, Mom, you told Cheryl that months ago before you went in the hospital. I did? You don't remember? No. My mother does not remember telling Cheryl. My mother doesn't remember telling her social worker, telling Cheryl, or telling her psychologist that she wanted to get a lawyer and fight Marion. She doesn't remember any of it, just like she doesn't remember destroying her own house, okay? She remembers wanting to get a lawyer. She doesn't remember she doesn't remember how my hopes were raised sky high because she was finally letting the cat out of the bag. She doesn't remember. So Marion has even more reason to laugh her ass off. My mother doesn't remember telling everybody she wanted to get a lawyer. She doesn't remember. And I'm sorry, but my mom could have a relapse so easily. She doesn't remember telling all these major key players in her life that she wanted to fight Marion. She doesn't remember telling them about the money. Nothing. I knew she didn't remember when they put nothing about the 8 days where I went through fucking hell on earth. You know? But she doesn't even remember before that. She remembers nothing. I love you, Mommy. I love you so much, and I'll stay this week. And I'll clean up your place, you know. Nice to a degree. I scrub down the disgusting counters that are already getting gross. Do my 2-hour thing where I take hour thing where I take everything off the counters and scrub it down and then put everything back on. I think she can start off with a clean mom. I can't stay here on the sly. I thought I could, but I can't. It's intensive. It's not making me happier. Sure, I like being able to go to that library and watch my videos and title them and blah blah whatever, but you know what? In the end, it's depressing me more. It's depressing me to no end to have to be here on the sly because after everything I did for my mom, Marion's making up. I caused my mom's illness. I destroyed her house. I'm just so sick of being treated like I'm some kind of drug-addled crack. Oh, some kind of just lonely. I just can't take it. I look at some of my videos where, you know, the ones that I did sideways and then used Movie Maker to turn around and whatnot, where I'm all dolled up with the little mini skirt and little top and makeup and all that. And I'm like, this is the woman that Marion is fucking making out to be some low-life loser, drug addict, doesn't love her mother, I just can't take it. I can't fucking take it. The fact of the matter is, if the cat goes out of the bag, Marion, you know, is gonna, and my mom's friends too, that's why I said in the beginning, you know, the quote masses unquote are not, they would just be the type of, she talks about him, you know, that's what Marion will say. She doesn't love you, Samantha. She talked all about you. She revealed the dirty laundry. Yeah. I did all of this to fucking try to stay alive for your sake, Mom. Keep my sorry ass alive for your sake. So I wouldn't die. Man, I almost died more than once anyway, but you know, at least being able to vent and communicate and whatnot all these years gave me a fighting chance to stay alive, you know? Gave me a goddamn fucking fighting chance. After her friends are, they're ignorant. You know what I mean? They're all gonna, they would just, if the cat goes out of the bed, they're all gonna turn it around. They're gonna say horrible things about me to her. I know they will. Our family, you know. And remember, my mother always puts everyone in front of me, ahead of me, because she thinks she can have her cake and eat it too. She thinks I just should sit back and take it from our family, from her, even from her friends. Think about the friend recently. Oh, just think about any of her friends. She's been telling them what I've asked her to tell them, that Laura didn't destroy my house. They don't believe me, Laura. Of course they don't, Mom. They think I'm just telling you to say that. And then her stupid friend, I didn't give Marion any letter. Yes, you did. Or she wouldn't have known about the $1,700 that was under the bed. You know, we opened up the secret account. I told you, and you were like, I trust you. She wouldn't have known. She's not God. She's not omniscient. Daniela, didn't they blatantly denied it? I said, Mom, she blatantly denied it. Why didn't you say there's no... Marion says you did give it to her. Oh, she has problems, Laura. I don't want to upset her. She's my friend, the only friend I have in the park. See what I have to deal with? Can't take it. I'm gonna go nuts, gonna kill myself. I mean, not literally, but you know. I'm gonna start getting shit-faced all the time. I mean, I can't take it. Perfect example years ago. Mom, Marion declared as fraud charges you made with your own credit cards. Remember, we went in person. You bought stuff for me, you bought stuff for you. You bought us food on your credit card to eat and all this crap, and she's declared it all as fraud. This is my mom's reply. Well, at least she made my credit card debt go down, Laura. Not grasping the concept that Marion did this to make it look like I had stolen my mother's credit cards. She did it to have that on record. Get it? But Mom can't get that through her thick skull. It drives me nuts. My friend's right. I need to just sever the ties with my mother. I need to just sever the ties. Not completely, of course. I would never do that to her. Or to me. Just have it be on a very superficial basis. Because I cannot take their ignorance when it comes to what the family has done to me, even what the one who died last summer did to me, and you know what I mean? I forgave her because she was dying, but we didn't talk about anything, you know, anything really, really deep, but, you know. Mom couldn't even grasp the fact of what Marion did when she declared legitimate charges as fraud. Fraud adjustment. She's so fucking arrogant. She just thinks she could do... Marion thinks she could do anything and everything and just endlessly get away with it and never be held accountable for her actions. No. Declaring as fraud legitimate charges my mother had made with my mother's own credit cards. I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that years ago, and now I'm in utter fucking state of shock that Marion's going around saying that I destroyed my mother's house when it was my mother who did it, day after day after day of my fucking 8 days of living hell that never would have come to be had those fucking cops and had my mother's psychologist actually listened to me, you know. Not treating me like I was a little girl tattling on my mother. Even the way the cops talk to me now. Now, can you guys just, you know, try to get along and, oh, fuck you. You know how fucking brilliant I am. Can you guys treat me like a little fucking girl? Can you guys just try to get, like I had tattled on my mother? I know the fucking signs. I've been dealing with this for 35 years, you fucking Oh, asshole. Asshole, what Trent Reznor called you in one of his songs. You know? Then I went through 8 fucking days of hell because I was not about to call the police again. Now was I? No. After you blew me off the first time, you think I was gonna know? Cried to Cheryl every day. She knew damn well I wouldn't call the cops again after what had happened the first time. So she called to my mom's social worker every day until finally the social worker gave in. Meanwhile, what happened in those 8 days? My mom almost burned her house down. There was a fire while Omar and I was sleeping. My mom had put Pam on the pan and had put it on high when she thought she put it on low, and then she had picked up the pan flaming and whatnot, and then lied to me about it and lied to her friends about it. But I got the truth out of her after I overheard her, eavesdropped on her call. And then I confronted her and got the truth, but she had lied, just because she lies all the time to her friends and her social worker, psychologist. Everything's fine, nothing's wrong. She never indicates any degree of being upset with Marion or what. She bitches to me, but, and I've asked her, did you talk about the phone thing or anything with your psychologist or with your social worker, about Marion? No. See? Never have had to go through those 8 fucking days of hell. But I did because Marion has me. I'm not respected as anything. They listen to Marion in a heartbeat, but to me, I'm just a little girl tattling on my mother, who's perfectly fine. As she insists to the whole goddamn planet. And then, when nobody's looking, she does all crazy things that I have to deal with day after day after day as it got progressively worse. And then in the end, my reward, because no good deed goes unpunished. Marion conveniently, who was off vacationing the whole time and certainly didn't see me destroy my mother's house, but, I left the note, so I had to have destroyed the house, Even though more than one note said, that my mom destroyed the house, have fun cleaning the house my mom destroyed. But, Marion's going to, conveniently, she's going to ignore that, of course. And, I'm sure nobody looked too carefully at the notes. She just shows them, see, in a big pile. Oh, God, it just makes me ill. Makes me ill. I can't stay. My mom's too naive. Marion could find out I'm here. How's she gonna find out? She's not gonna find out. Like a little girl. There's all kinds of ways she could find out. Somebody she knows, or my family members. I even asked about the dead aunt's husband. I thought he was around here in some kind of home. No, he's somewhere. Yeah, well, still. They could drive around here. Someone Marion could know. Marion could find out via YouTube. There's so many ways that Marion could find out that I'm here. And my mom thinks it can't possibly happen. And if it does happen, it's going to be more trauma for me. I can't take it. The risk is too great now. I had wanted, remember, I'm not supposed to be here right now. Bobby wasn't supposed to do what he did. Had he stood his ground, his landlord wouldn't have had ground to stand on, He had to legally give us to the end of June. That doesn't matter because I'm not supposed to be back here. And if I was back here because my mom stood up to Marion, then it'd be a different story, but it's not, and I can't take it. I said as much to my therapist, who I've only met with once, who apparently was willing to see me again. I didn't think that would be the case after I blew her off and left a crazy message on the general mailbox. You know, crazy, or quote, crazy, unquote, truthful messages. I left a few short messages. You don't have much time to talk. You know, it'd be equivalent of one long message, but they give you not like any time to talk. But I did give her a little background before I meet with her, because I am going to meet with her. I'm going to give myself this week, you know, to be here. My mother doesn't even remember. So she doesn't remember anything. That in of itself terrifies me, you know. I'm sorry, but she was showing signs of dementia. It was way more than just her having a breakdown. She could have a relapse so easily. I want to get me and Omar out of here. I told her about that guy who keeps writing to me, and then eventually, even though I'd never said one word to him, and he'd been writing to me periodically, week after week, when he saw that I still had my attic, you know, his very first thing and second thing, you know, if we had chemistry, could we be boyfriend and girlfriend? No, I'm not interested. I never wrote to him once. I just said to myself, I'm not interested. Finally, he sent a picture, and I decided to write to him, like, you know, you're not half bad looking, but please don't write to me again. I'm not interested. He still wrote to me again. And he said, blah, 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 blah. Well, you said you're a single female. You know, that would indicate that you were looking for more than just a blah, blah, blah. There are a lot of people who don't want to live with the opposite sex, you know what I mean? Everyone who takes out a roommate ad says who they are. I've read all kinds of roommate ads where they talk about who they are and what they like, and it is a little bit like a dating profile, not exactly, but you know. He's just an idiot. Why wouldn't I say I was a single female? As far as I'm concerned, everybody should. You should know if your potential roommate is going to be a male or female. A lot of people don't. A lot of women only want female, and you know what I mean? Idiot. I responded to him. He'll probably eventually go away if I don't respond to him, but I didn't respond to him all these weeks, and he kept writing to me. That in of itself sent a warning signal through me, you know. I didn't give you any encouragement. I never wrote back to you once, even to say no thanks. I just ignored you. You kept writing to me. One time there were 3 messages, and I thought other people had responded to me, and it was only him. You know, it was so annoying. Yeah, at first I was gonna wholeheartedly take my mom up on this offer. Stay with her part-time on the sly, stay in the shelters part-time. But I can't. It's intensifying my depression. It's making me more ill than just being in the shelter and talking of shit with people, talking serious stuff. People a lot of times reveal their lives, you know. I've done it to a point, but not totally, you know. In the past I did it more and I got burned, you know. I don't want to be here. I'm going to always be in fear that Mary's just going to show up, even though Mom doesn't think she will. There's no guarantee she won't. even tomorrow, my mom's like, she's having a party for Father's Day for her husband. She's not gonna show up here. Yeah. But there's always a 1 in 1 billion chance that she will show up here for some reason, Mom. And all it takes is the 1 in 1 billion, my knowledge that it could happen, to cause me to not be able to relax and to just be on edge and just depressed. And hard for me to go to bed. My mom's not able to stand up to Marion. Like Joe said, asking your mom to stand up to Marion is like asking a baby to move, to lift 500 pounds. Yeah, I know. And I thought, well, this is better than nothing, being her on the sly. The more I think about it, the more I can't stand it. Because I had broken free. I had left those notes. I had planned to never come back here again, except, maybe to visit my mom or something, Little did I know what Marion had in store for me, Defamation of my character. I don't understand why she was never told. Why Cheryl and Marion they it's like I don't exist. They never even told Marion what happened. She never even asked. She never even cared. No. She doesn't want to even bring me up in any meeting. She just wants to pretend my mother doesn't have a daughter. We all know your modus operandi, Marion. You're not fooling anybody but the most ignorant people on this planet, who will always be fooled, easily fooled. I know my mom likes having me here. That's why when I was ready to go home yesterday, she's like, oh, why don't you stay? Marion's not going to come by. How do you know, Mom? Oh, it's Father's Day. She's not going to come by. No, I'm going to stay, That's where it stands. It has nothing to do with, me thinking for 1 second my mom's gonna break down again if I'm here. It has only to do with my feelings about having to be here on the sly, having to worry about Marion showing up, and having, or worry about, what if my mom's talking to Marion and I'm supposed to be quiet and I stub my toe and involuntarily scream and then she finds out I'm here. Anything could happen. It's not likely to happen, but I hate living like this. It's not worth it. Thought that it would be. Of course I thought it would be. I said it in the videos, I said as much, but then the more I think about it, plus when I say to my mom, I'm trying to get her to understand, Mom, I have 4,300 videos and 250,000 video views to my channel. Well, what does that mean? It means I'm famous out on YouTube. It means Marion could find out, Mom. No, Marion's not going to find out you're here. See, naive, childish, and then if it happens, what's going to happen with her? You know, she won't be able to handle it. So I'll enjoy it this week. I'll pray every second that, I can have peace. If Marion is inevitably, gonna find out about YouTube, that it happens when I am not here. If she finds out why I'm here, comes storming over here, screaming and yelling, upsetting me and upsetting my mom, it's gonna be more trauma. I can't take any more trauma, people. I'm at my breaking point here. I know at least one man out there would say, gladly, Lord, gladly. Yeah. So after all that, after you said everything on your papers, you're not going to stay on the sly with your mom. She's too naive, folks. She thinks, I got it from her earlier today. She really thinks, and then she tries to be tough, but I know her first reaction. She thinks Marion can't possibly find out that I'm here. That's not true. Even if there was no YouTube, Marion could find out. It's not just the woman in the office, the guy that does maintenance. Even though I leave early in the morning, he's around, and then, he could happen to mention it to the woman in the office. He might even mention it casually and not know, since, I told you it's just the woman in the office and Marion in cahoots to fuck with my mother's mind, okay? He might just mention it. Oh, I saw Samantha's daughter walking. He might not even do it on purpose. It is so easy, so easy for Marion to find out that I'm here. Too easy, even setting aside the YouTube thing. And for my mom to think that it can't happen. Oh, Marion's not going to find out here. Why would she find out? How would she find out? A million different ways, Mom. A million different ways. And then my mom was like, tough. Well, so what if she finds out? Yeah. But you've said to me more than once, Marion can't find out. You know what I mean? And you're afraid. So her in that position. No matter how much I might want to, deep down I'm just filled with rage, and I can stand being here on the sly and having to worry, and Marion's gonna find out and come over here screaming and yelling and upsetting my mother, upsetting me. That's how it stands. She barely goes to bed every night. She lays down says she's just resting. Instead of just getting ready for bed, she says she's just resting, and then she doesn't wake up till like midnight or 1 and gets ready for bed. But I used to say things to her about that, not anymore. That's what she wants to do, I let her do it, you know. To me, it's stupid, you know. If you go to bed, you're really in bed for the day, but she shut the light off, but she falls asleep for hours, you know, but so what? Like I said, I'm here, but it's not the same as when I was living here. I don't say anything to her about anything. Like I said, the counters are filthy, but I'm gonna